back, Deadites and Ghost Beaters. If you're new to the channel, I am Oldhead Gaming, and normally I would drop the patch notes video for a brand new chapter pretty close to 11 AM Eastern Standard Time, but I was a little bit indisposed. I was at a doctor's appointment, and apparently the chapter was running a few minutes behind because at 11 o'clock, most people reporting they couldn't find it on their preferred platform, and it is now available. You can get the Tools of Torment chapter for $11.99, and let's see exactly what those patch notes look like, what's included, and then we'll take a hop over and we'll take a look at the game itself, so that way you can take a look at the new cosmetics as well. I'm not buying the chapter. I'm just not impressed with what we were getting. I hated every moment of the PTB. So for the first time in years, I'm not buying a Dead by Daylight chapter at launch, but I want you to be aware of what you get. And here we are, guys, the 6.60 Tools of Torment update, which of course includes new content, new Killer the Skull Merchant. Just gonna read the perks real quick, kind of give you a touch up on all the new survivors and the killer. Game afoot. While you're chasing Obsession, the perk activates, damaging generators and destroying breakable walls, and pallets gives you 5% haste for 8, 9, or 10 seconds. Whenever you hit the survivor with a total most time in chase with a basic, they become the obsession. The killer can only be obsessed with one survivor at a time. Thwack. After hooking a survivor, this perk activates. The next breakable wall or pallet you break will make the survivor within 28, 30, or 32 meters scream and reveal their aura for 4 seconds. This was changed from the PTB. Leverage. Each time you hook a survivor, gain 1 token up to 10. When you hook a survivor, this perk activates for 30 seconds. For each token, reduce the speed in which survivors heal by 3, 4, or 5 seconds. And then we have 2 new survivors. The first one is Thalita Lyra. The first perk is Cut Loose. After performing a rushed vault in chase, this perk activates. Your rush vaults are silent for up to 4, 5, or 6 seconds, and successfully performing a rush vault during that time resets the timer. This perk goes on cooldown though for 45 seconds. Friendly competition. Whenever you finish a generator with at least one other survivor, this perk activates. You and other survivors who finished repairing the gen with you get 5% increased repair progress speed for 45, 60, or 75 seconds. Survivors can only have one instance of this perk ability active at once. Teamwork, power of 2, and this is the first of 2 teamwork perks, and they can only be active at one time, so you can't double stack on the 2 teamwork perks from the Lyras. Whenever you finish healing another survivor, you both move at 5% faster as long as you stay within 12 meters of the survivor you healed, or until you lose a health state. Teamwork, power of 2 can only be triggered once every 180, 160, or 140 seconds. The other survivor is Renato Lyra, and his perks are first, background player. When a killer picks up another survivor, background player activates for 10 seconds. When you start running, you break into 150% of your normal running speed for 4 seconds and become exhausted. This perk cannot be used while exhausted. This perk causes exhaustion for 60, 50, or 40 seconds. The next one is Blood Rush. This perk activates once you are 1 hook away from instant death. While healthy, running, and suffering from exhaustion, press the active ability button to lose 1 health state and recover from exhaustion instantly. You gain broken status for 28, 24, or 20 seconds. You are automatically healed from injury to healthy after 28, 24, or 20 seconds. Being put into die state will cancel the healing effect. Activating Blood Rush will disable it for the remainder of the trial. Exhaustion prevents survivors from activating other perks that cause exhaustion. Broken prevents survivors from being healed. And here's the other teamwork perk. This is called Collective Stealth. Whenever another survivor finishes healing you, you both have no scratch marks for as long as you stay within 12 meters of each other, or until someone loses a health state. Collective Stealth can only be triggered once every 180, 160, or 140 seconds. Cannot be worked with another one. Map changes. Shelter Woods. A makeshift command center was erected here. Its rigid walls and sharp angles standing in stark contrast to the twisted wooden soil. For those who chance upon the crude structure, the realization that this complex belongs to an apex hunter usually comes too late. Visual update to the Red Forest. We've taken largely visit the Red Forest, which includes the map Temple of Purgation and Mother's Dwelling. How about a nice long walk in the woods? Visual updates to Hattie. Visual improvements to eyes and hair shape and color adjust to be more reflective of her lore. Added blood to her prestige hair. Visual update to uncommon skin makeup and icons and portrait update. Now we have some quality of life changes. Map repeat prevention. This update improves the map selection process. Now, the possibility that players in a trial will see the same map as their previous trial have been reduced to near 0. It's also unlikely they will be sent to a recently visited map though the likelihood will be a little higher than near zero. This will not impact the efficacy of map offerings, nor will it affect custom games. Perk changes. Any means necessary. Removed cooldown. Eruption. After kicking a generator, the R is highlighted in yellow. Whenever a survivor enters dying state, every affected generator explodes, losing 10% worth of progress and starts to regress. Any survivor repairing a generator when it explodes will scream and reveal their aura for 8, 10, or 12 seconds. Eruption has a cooldown of 30 seconds. This was changed from the original or from the PTB. Loading timeout. After analyzing data on our side, we have established a set of expected loading times for each of the steps while loading into a trial. As a result, if any player crashes or hangs while loading, we will now be able to return everyone to the tally much earlier. Reporting players, we know that sometimes you may face unsportsmanlike behavior even before a match. We now have added the option to report a player in the online lobby. Oh, good gravy. Miscellaneous updates triggering Scream audio. We have done a consistent pass on the following perks and add-ons which trigger audio feedback when the position of the survivor is revealed: Deathbound, Dragon's Grip, Eruption, Face the Darkness, Infectious Fright, Iron Maiden, Make Your Choice, Iridescent Family Crest, Incessant Ointment, Healing Poultice, and Greasy Black Lens. When a survivor screams to reveal their location, the scream will be a 3D scream instead of a 2D map-wide scream, with a 19-meter max range. and a loud noise sound effect is triggered. Bots and custom games. You can kind of read about the improvements to bots. Like, let's be honest, if you're running bots in custom games, you just know that they're much more active and actually act more like humans. They did some adjustments to killer bots to make them a little more aggressive. They will even no longer blind Demogorgon. Okay, bots changed since the PTB. Bots now use the following perks: Deception for the People, Saboteur, Blast Mind, Wiretap, Tenacity, Self-Care. Bots can also now use the following add-ons: Stypic Agent, Anti-Hemorrhage Syringe, Brand New Part, and Glass Bead. I mean, who cares? Bug fixes. Characters. Pallets now react as intended when kicking during the pallet breaking animation. The Huntress's legs now move forward while performing basic attacks. Female Legion members no longer have a male Legion walk animation while in solid trials, and correct transition now plays after being stunned when the Legion has Julie mixtape equipped. Environment. A collision in the mother's dwelling map no longer blocks projectiles. Address the level of detail issues with Yamakoa's estate map. Alright, audio. Fixed issue of survivors scream when they continue being unhooked. Fixed an issue where Thalita and Renata's screams were muffled when activating Eruption. Fixed an issue with Tone 14 where only the knight would produce sound when highlighting rewards. Fixed an issue where the visual data torso cosmetic for the Legion would use the default sounds instead of Julie's. And subtitle from William Birkin's voice lines no longer appears when playing as Blight with a different cosmetic. Miscellaneous. Players affected by disconnection penalties should now see it correctly when they return to the lobby. Fixed a few cases where subtitles for voiceover lines would no longer linger the audio themselves. Players are no longer stuck in infinite loop when matchmaking fails. Fixed a potential crash when closing the game. Fixed a soft lock with the main menu after selecting a game mode, quickly selecting the store archive button at the same time. Fixed the position issue of loadown and tooltip if the tally screen after displaying the killer power. Sybil no longer remains idle when interacting with other killer objects. Fixed some cases where adept achievements could not be completed. Fixed Huntress's lullaby after hooking. Whispers now deactivates correctly when a survivor is killed or disconnects in the perk's range. The killer's obsession is now applied to the correct survivor when Decisive Strike is equipped. Fix the server crash, which happened in the same case as survivors interrupted. Bots now cancel a pending crow removal when vaulting or dropping a pallet. Add-ons of the night. Sadako and Oni no longer cause survivors in the locations to scream. Victor's aura is now correctly displayed after a successful pounce. William Burke and voice lines subtitles no longer appear when downing survivors as default Blight. Fixed a crash on the server when certain status effects are imposed. Blood Warden no longer permanently blocks exit gates. Wiggle skill checks next disappear become being hooked. Fixed an issue where survivors were unable to wiggle off a killer's shoulders. Update the nurse's power description to include the fact that she can interrupt and grab survivors between blinks and the ensuing fatigue. This change will propagate to other languages in future update. A player disconnected during the trial introductory camera rotation now quickly cancels the match. Survivors no longer risk receiving a disconnect penalty when the killer disconnects. Fixed an issue where editing a bot in the invalid state custom game lobby could cause a crash. Fixed a crash when selecting the edit bot. fixed an issue when bot loadout items were not affected by the match management settings, fixed an issue with animations of the bot. Oh my god, it's just a bunch of bot shit. Bots. The right to Skull Merchant daily rituals should now progress correctly. Survivors with Claw Trap no longer see the wrong decal when observing scouting drones. The leverage purse external icon can now display a timer. Rancor's exposed status is no longer immediately activated when the obsession is transferred through the Game of Foot perk. Game of Foot obsession transfer is now triggered at the end of a hit, preventing the Remember Me perk from gaining a token too early. Using Blood Rush with background player perk activates now, removes the exhaustion effect imposed by another perk. Leverage now applies only when healing others and not self-healing. The Cut Loose icon now reflects the proper state and duration. Sprint Burst triggers correctly when using Blood Rush. Teamwork, Collective Stealth, and Teamwork Power of 2 now activate correctly when using Anti-Hemorrhage Syringe. Teamwork Collective Stealth is no longer deactivated once survivor runs in a different direction from others. Teamwork Collective Stealth no longer fails to deactivate if the survivor disconnects. And the icon, Teamwork, Power 2, and Collective Stealth now correctly matches the perk state. Now we still have a few known issues. Glyph Graduate, Yellow Glyph changes. The skill checks for the Glyph Graduate challenge are not behaving as intended and may not recognize the player's input in the good skill check zone. Affects all instances of the Glyph Graduate challenge across all applicable tomes. Miscellaneous. Stuttering presented of the Tools Torment video box on Xbox One. The description of achievements do not scroll on the side of the EGS launcher social panel. And in maps, the Burrell Hill in the Red Forest has unclear pathing. Alright, so there you have it. So it looks like they've implemented the new opening sequence here with the Skull Merchant building some drones and grabbing her little device. Run, Lyras! It's a bad drone. It's gonna get you. The power of 2 compels you. Bam. I love how they try to make her look remotely intimidating. Let me come at you with my sexy walk, though. I do like the music, though. The update to the music's really good. Alright, so we enter into the Tools of Torment update, which I have not bought. But I will show you what cosmetics are available for the Skull Merchant, as well as both Thalita and Renata Lyra. Alright, we're going to hop straight over to the store. New featured update. So first we have the Encroaching Darkness skin, which is the brand new epic skin. You can buy those in pieces if you prefer. But there is the skin for the Skull Merchant. She also has some other choices. If you want to get something new for her, you want to change her to having green hair, you know, rainbow hair, a little bit different mask. Like, there's some options if you just want to get a different skin for her. We also have, well, of course, why wouldn't we have shirtless Renato? And there's some other choices for him as well, but that's the big skin, you know, with the ball cap on. The ball cap's kind of cool, though. But you can change his shirt color. That's pretty much it. And then, of course, for Thalita, she gets, well, looks like she gets a ball cap herself, a little backpack, and then she gets some booty shorts, and then she has some normal outfits, which is basically the cut-off jean shorts and some different hair colors. Nothing too exciting. But yeah, so basically you just see those different options. You have the 3 epics and then a bunch of uncommons. And if you want to get them, they're 500 cells per, or you can get them for 9,000 shards if you don't want to spend the $12 to buy the actual whole bundle. And there you have it, the Tools of Torment update, Chapter 27, 6.60 update is live. It is in the game. You can go play it right now. You can buy the characters if you want. You can buy just one if you want to use cells or shards. And you can go out there and get those new perks on all your characters. Of course, like we have the 3 for the Skull Merchant, plus another 6 for the Survivors to build your new perks around. Let me know though, are you getting Tools of Torment? Are you excited about this chapter? Or are you feeling a little meh like I am? Like right now I still find myself in a situation where I don't know if I'm getting any of them. I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching and later mates.